Good morning, everyone. We are going to begin by singing Jazz Alleluia. It's number 1050 in the teal hymnal, the little slimmer volume if you want to read the music. But I think you'll get a hold of the words really quickly because there's just one word, Alleluia. I think you can handle it. So let's rise in body and spirit and sing together. Beautifully done, everyone. Beautifully done. As we enter into this morning together to reflect on the beauty that is in our midst and all around us, even in a heartbreaking world, it is good to be together to bring our spirits into this sanctuary, to enter into this time of community here at the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. I'm the Reverend Julia Hamilton. My pronouns are she, her, and I am so glad to be joining you this morning with folks from our choir singing, Matthew Grissett, our music director, Heather Levin on the piano, Ellen Broidy, our worship associate, two fabulous members of our congregation sharing their reflections with you, Charla Brigante, our director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. We've got John, we've got Angie, we've got the ushers. We are such a busy and vibrant community. It takes all of us working together to build the world we want here at the Unitarian Society, trusting that that world that puts love at the center will then ripple out and make an impact far beyond these walls. Thank you for taking the time here to nurture your spirit with us in this loving community of seekers where we strive to live with integrity, nurture wonder, and inspire the actions that transform us and transform the world. If you're joining with us online, we would love to get to know you as well. Type your name into the chat. It's like putting on your name tag online. It allows other people to see that you're here among us. Say hello in the chat. We are one community, whether you're here in our physical sanctuary or in our virtual sanctuary. We are together this morning. If you're visiting with us and would like to get to know more about this congregation, we would love to get to know you. So stop by our welcome table or click on that visitor link. And if you've been coming for a little while and you feel like this is your home, these are your people to journey with, we would love to welcome you into membership at the Unitarian Society at any morning. You can stop by the membership table, talk to Angie or anyone on our membership team about how to get more involved. We have a lot going on here this fall, and you can feel the turning of the seasons this morning, can't you, here in Santa Barbara? Well, as we turn towards this fall, we are also turning towards a trip to the migrant shelter in La Cobina, Mexicali, returning to this place which we have developed a partnership with over the years. And our youth group has a bake sale this morning. So go ahead and buy some treats and support the fundraising that supports this good work in our community. I'm sorry for the online folks. We don't have treats yet figured out how to do it online, but we're working on it. This is the last day also to stop by our Capital Campaign table and get your photo taken. We're using these photos of the congregation with words of support all throughout our campaign this fall. So if you haven't done it yet, we would love to have your beautiful face as part of our collection as we work towards fundraising for this Capital Campaign. Also, I hope everyone has October 18th marked on their calendar. This is our joyful jubilee, our celebration of this campaign. It is not our annual auction. For those of you who have been here for many years, you know that fall is usually our auction time. Our auction is being moved to the spring. It will happen, but this fall we are going to be celebrating the work of the Capital Campaign and inviting everybody in. All are welcome. It's just a great big sparkly party. So start planning your outfits and join us on the 18th. We are also beginning the part of the campaign where we will be reaching out to each and every member of the congregation. So when you get a call from one of our visiting stewards this fall, over the next few months, we hope you will say yes to this important conversation, to sit down with another member of this congregation and talk about the dreams that we hold in community. This is when we really lift off and make possible this vision that we have invested so much time in. And I am so grateful to all of you who are making this dream come into reality. Next Sunday, we're going to be celebrating our Blessing of the Backpacks, our annual start of the religious exploration year. So this is for all ages. If you have a backpack, a bag, a briefcase, a satchel, bring it on Sunday so that we can imbue it with the love and care of this community and send you back out into the world carrying all that with you. And I have one more invitation from Julie Lope. Will you please come forward?
Hi. I have been part of a dream workshop that's been going on for the last 3 or 4 weeks. There's a wonderful member of our congregation who has extremely depth of knowledge about dream work. She's from Pacifica, and she's part of our congregation, and she's offered this. I've done dream work for years, and I love it. I want to invite any of you who just think you might be interested in dream work. The last one we're doing is this coming Wednesday right here in the sanctuary at 6:30. And you're welcome just to come sit in. You're welcome to share your dreams, just to see what this is all about. She's willing to extend it and continue the dream work, but we'd like to know that there's interest. So come on Wednesday and figure out what are those dreams all about. Thanks.
Finally, I have one last invitation for our online congregation. We haven't left you out of the opportunity to have deep conversations in small groups. Our Lunch and Learn this coming Sunday is for everyone who wants to join us online. That could be here in this room or wherever you are, to join Charla to talk about your personal theology, to dive deep into those big questions of meaning and purpose. So please sign up with Charla, whether you're here or online, for the next Lunch and Learn next Sunday. Whew, there's a lot going on here and a lot going on in the world, a lot we carry with us in our hearts into this space. So I invite you now to take a breath and settle yourself wherever you are. Allow yourself to be fully present here in this moment as we ring our bell and let the sound connect us.
If you're joining us from home in our online sanctuary and would like to participate in the chalice lighting, please type into the chat, "Chalice is lit," and the name of your street or town. Although we cannot see the flames, we know they're burning bright throughout our far-flung community. This morning's chalice lighting words are by Francis Cozier. May we light this chalice this morning to remind us of the power and beauty of balance and contrast. It's darkness that can make the flame of a single candle so powerful, and light that deepens those shadows in return. A chalice flame is the meeting point, the union of the refuge, safety, and incredible beauty of the darkness, and the warmth, the assurance, and the joy of light. May this act of lighting our chalice this morning remind us that we are stronger together in all the complexities and disagreements of relationship, because we are different and because we are one. In a world where it's increasingly challenging to find much to admire, at USSB we remain steadfast in our commitment to identify at least one good thing that made us smile, gave us hope, nurtured our spirits, or redeemed our souls. We ask everyone to engage in this exercise of finding the good in the world and share what you've identified with others during coffee hour. And one lucky person, often the worship associate, gets to share one good thing with the entire congregation. To state the obvious, this has not been a week overflowing with good things, but something quite special did happen this week that I want to lift up and celebrate. On Tuesday evening, Reverend Julia and Director of Religious Exploration, Charla Brigante, held an amazingly beautiful and meaningful Vesper service. Starting at 6:15, at a moment when the light from the stained glass window reflected magically on the side window and the sanctuary was aglow with candles, Julia and Charlotte led us in a meditative service in word, song, and silence. It was restorative, it was transformative, it was most certainly a good thing.
Let us join together in song once more. We're going to sing number 77, Seek Not Afar for Beauty. Please rise in body and spirit.
Good morning, everyone. I am Charla Brigante, the Director of Religious Exploration around here. My pronouns are she, her, and I want to invite any kids who are here this morning or anyone who likes to sit on a rug to come on forward. I happen to know that since school started, a couple of our kids are out today, those germs. Ooh, sorry. I can thank you, Joey. Joey's gonna sit on the floor. Oh, look, I see, if the kids just get taller, I love that. They're still all kids at heart. And I'm going to turn your attention, Joey, especially so you can see, yes, you might want to watch the screen this morning too, which is kind of why we sat down here. All right. Good to see you all. I want to tell you a story about a poet and writer named Ross Gay and a community orchard he helped bring to life in Bloomington, Indiana. He wrote an essay about this orchard in his book called Inciting Joy, which I highly recommend. This story is based on that essay. The idea for the orchard came from a young woman named Amy Countryman in 2009. She dreamed of creating an orchard where everyone in the community could come and pick fruit, a place where anyone who was hungry would find something to eat. The city of Bloomington told her that if she could get people to help create this orchard, the city would give her an acre of land on a trial basis. She named her project Free Fruit for All. Amy called a community meeting and about 100 people showed up. One of the people for that first meeting was Ross Gay, who in addition to being a poet and essayist, is an avid gardener. At the meeting, people broke up into groups. Ross joined the site preparation group, and these folks would organize volunteers to help ready the soil for planting, creating compost and digging it into the hard clay dirt for months to soften the soil and feed it with good nutrients for trees. Ross also joined the plant selection team. They would choose what kind of trees would grow best in Bloomington. It took months of meetings and lots of compost to make the orchard a reality. But long before the first tree was planted, something else was growing in Bloomington: community. Meetings turned into potlucks and social gatherings. Ross found himself wanting to feed his new friends and even created recipes for sweet potato cookies and lentil barley shiitake soup to share at meetings. He said, breaking bread, it turned out, was one of the most important things we were doing. He said all the talking, composting, playing, digging, listening, and dreaming were all just ways of being together. They didn't always agree on everything, but the orchard people helped each other with all kinds of things: caring for each other's children, lending each other tools or a car, feeding each other, helping haul heavy limestone, and of course, preparing the soil for planting trees. All that hanging out together and helping each other created something just as beautiful as the orchard would someday be. Ross says the product was the dream of connection, which they were already living. One of the most important meetings the orchard people had was about whether or not the beautiful handmade gate, which is in one of those slides, designed and built especially for the orchard, should be locked or not. It was a hard decision to make. On the one hand, if the gate was left unlocked, people might steal trees, or when the trees began to bear fruit, steal all the apples from a tree or berries from a bush. People might go inside and just destroy things if they were looking for trouble to get into. A lot of money and time and sweat and love went into the orchard. Shouldn't they protect it by locking the gate? On the other hand, the original dream for the orchard was free fruit for all. As Ross says, what if someone took a tree from the orchard and planted it at their house? What if, when the fruit started coming on in full a few years hence, someone came in and took all the apples and sped away? Would that be the worst thing? Isn't the dream that no one owns all the fruit or the land? Isn't the fruit for everyone? Before I tell you all what the orchard people decided, I want to know what our kids think about that. What do you think? Does anyone have any thoughts about whether they should lock the gate or leave it unlocked? Julia's going to bring around my mic.
They should leave it unlocked because it's the name of the project for free fruit for everyone. So, yeah.
One vote for leaving it unlocked. Any other ideas? Anyone else have any thoughts about that? Patricia, yeah.
I just wanted to agree. I think
Okay.
that's right.
Right. What's our congregation think? Raise your hand if you think the gate should be locked to protect it. Oh, wow. Good job. Raise your hand if you think the gate should be left unlocked. Wow, look at us. Well, you'll be happy to know that that is also what the Orchard people decided. After a lot of conversation and struggles over what to do about the gate, they eventually agreed that someone yanking a few trees or busting something wouldn't be the worst thing. The worst thing would be putting a lock on the dream of free fruit for all. They decided the orchard should always be open, day and night, 365 days a year. Everyone should have access to the bounty and beauty of the orchard. So finally, planting day arrived. The plant selection team that Ross worked on had chosen varieties of apple, pear, peach, plum, tart cherry, pawpaw, and fig trees for the orchard. There were about 150 trees, shrubs, and flowers to plant, and 250 volunteers to plant them. Ross planted a baby fig tree from the yard of a special childhood neighbor. In this way, he carried a piece of the past into the present to bear fruit for the future. And at the end of that planting day, after he had planted his fig tree with special love and care, Ross Gay had this to say about the day. Walking toward the gate Jack made that had no lock on it, I hugged and kissed every one of us, Amy the longest. She brought us here, just as she was brought here. You maybe could imagine that my eyes filled up looking back at what had come of our dreaming together. And why I was having that feeling again, I find myself describing as thousands of birds taking flight in my chest, which means, I think, the long and beautiful breaking into something more than me. That's our time for all ages this morning. Let's head on out, kids.
I would like to invite us now to settle ourselves once again in the space wherever you are, to enter into a time of prayer and meditation and reflection, a time to go deeper into that compassionate space inside each of us that unites us. This week has been awash with fear. Fear that political violence that we have seen so recently will escalate. Fear that the guns that are awash in our society make things so much worse. Fear that the rhetoric will heat up and our hearts will break even more for our nation. And at the same time, the hills are turning golden with the fall. The ocean is warm, and we gather here to reflect on beauty and our hopes for the future, on orchards and free fruit for all. So I would like to share with you this reading by Karen Johnston, and then as we enter into a time of quiet, hold that space between all that we fear and all that we hope for. Hold that space in beauty. What do I do with beauty, she says, or joy for that matter, in the midst of tragedy, of violence, of cruelty? What do we do with the living? Give each their due. Do not lose ourselves in any of it, but find ourselves anew. Where there is beauty, amplify it. Where beauty is hidden, reveal it. Where beauty is ruined, restore it. Where beauty is absent, create it. This will be our gift to our aching world. We've invited a few members of our congregation to reflect on what beauty means to them. I'd like to invite Julie Lope forward for the first reflection.
When asked to say a few words about beauty, these usual popular expressions came to mind. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is only skin deep. Beauty is as beauty does. But they're mostly about pretty faces and behavior. Beauty is a universal language. It's what we feel when someone touches something in our hearts and sparks our imagination. Beauty has the power to elevate, connect, and even heal. It's a deeply personal concept found in a wide range of human experiences. There are obviously different kinds of beauty, from character to visual. We're focusing today about how beauty relates to our campus and our capital campaign. Buildings can speak. Visual is a kind of non-spoken language. The word institutional is often used negatively to describe a building where the appearance generates a feeling of being impersonal and cold. Churches like this are intended to look the opposite, to look like churches or a temple. But here at USSB, we're hoping for even more inviting feelings, and that the look can be designed to bring forth a feeling of universal caring and welcome to all. And it just so happens I have an actual example. It's not about a church, but it is about a visual transformation, an attraction to beauty. So John, please show the before photo. Is that up there? Okay. This is a photo of the side of the building where I had a candy manufacturing and retail store in a busy tourist location. It's a town in Nevada called Virginia City. Although the town was very small, 400 residents at the time, it had up to 2 million walking traffic during this tourist season. The side of the building was flat, and my store wasn't even visible until you were right in front of it. And there was a big parking lot to cross that was somewhat unappealing. Then I remembered from my past theater days how overnight we could turn a monochromatic, huge, flat canvas into a vision of a busy market or a library or whatever we wanted with just paint. So I networked and called some of my old theater cronies, explained that I wanted a visual painting of the front of my store wrapped around the corner and painted onto the wall, and then continuing with a replica of the old International Hotel that burned down about 100 years before. The set designers thought the idea was really quirky and kind of interesting and fun. They'd never done anything like that. It was an adventure for them, and it put a little extra change in their pockets between professional gigs. I put them up at a local Airbnb, and they went to work. Now, John, show the picture after they were done. That's all paint. And almost 40 years later, it's still attracting tourists, and it's the most photographed image in town. It's a very peculiar legacy that I have, and clearly commercial, and it's still there, and entertaining, and attracting, and showing a beautiful thing to tourists. So, what's the purpose of showing the transformation of a rather ugly gray wall to a three-dimension trompe-l'oeil, which is the French word for trick of the eye? What's the purpose? At coffee hour, or whenever the Spirit moves you, please be thinking of imaginative ways that you or we can enhance the wonderful legacy of this amazing campus in the very heart of Santa Barbara. We want to bring forth a feeling of warmth, comfort, safety, caring, and most important to Unitarians, welcome to all. We already have several visual welcome signs. The outside tiled benches, for example. The wayside pulpit that people talk about. The little free book library we have. How can we further enhance the beauty of our campus to speak the language to all that we want to welcome? How can we translate that kind of caring into our physical structures? I began with some quotes, and to end, here's another. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Thank you.
We are going to join together in song number 112, Do You Hear?
Sky through the land.
I'd like to invite Goon Dukes to come forward and share a reflection.
These are trying times, ugly times in so many ways. So how lucky am I to be standing here looking at you, because you are beautiful. Your beauty comes through your kindness, your caring, your involvement, and your courage that I have seen over the 25 years that I've been a member to this church. If there's a need for help, I know in my heart that any one of you would answer, yes, count me in. And I will carry that feeling with me when I leave here today. The beauty of our community, an ember of hope that will sustain me. But what about you? You're seeing the backs of heads of people in the pews in front of you. Be these heads ever so dear to you, wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to look at each other from the beautiful, comfortable, movable chairs that's in the plan in our Bridge to the Future campaign? Replace these dark, uncomfortable, immovable pews. The plan chairs can be arranged in so many ways for different needs and wishes. For example, the chairs can be placed completely on the floor. All the chairs can be put on the floor of the sanctuary, and so then the sanctuary for a service becomes accessible to everyone, all the members and visitors. And for the Tuesday Vespers that Julia mentioned, a smaller number of chairs could be arranged for greater intimacy. Or you could have the chairs arranged so our singing can be together. You could sing Alleluia to each other rather than front. Or we could blend our voices when the group singing happens. What a wonderful feeling to have our voices mixed together. I'm sure you can imagine many other ways to arrange the chairs and switch away from the pews and create a beautiful space to enhance our spirit. We also have to think of our customers when we consider improvement. How many weddings do you think have been held in the sanctuary last year? 35 weddings and counting. You can imagine the income from these weddings is very important to our budget. And chairs, instead of our ugly pews, would be better able to meet the aesthetic needs of brides and bridal planners. While the sanctuary gets lots of use, but the busiest building on our campus is Jefferson Hall, the building down there, we call it, because it's soon to be renamed. The hall is old and tired. It shows 68 years of use, but beautiful improvements are in the Bridge to the Future plans. Maybe you saw them outlined in the brochure that you recently received, or maybe you had coffee hour and could see the renderings of the beautiful things that are happening. The ceiling and the flooring will be updated. The room will be updated to the courtyard so that becomes a whole unit. There'll be a kitchenette, there'll be AV cabinetry and equipment. Are you excited yet? And yes, comfortable chairs. Maybe there'll even be money for something special for the big window. The hall is used nearly every day by our programs and committees and partner community groups. The beauty of this transformation will support connection and belonging, maybe even help in decision-making. Our board meets there. Imagine the room used for small weddings. Maybe you were planning to elope. A more private memorial celebration, birthday celebrations, a child's blessing. I know you can imagine it. We're creating beautiful spaces with a sense of the sacred to help restore our spirit. The dream has been crafted by all of you through your answers to the visionary survey and your comments and recommendations to the campaign committee. Now, to make the dream a reality.
Every week, USSB donates 25% of our Sunday offering to support special projects and community partners that share our deepest values. This month, we're supporting the League of Women Voters of Santa Barbara. The League is a national, nonpartisan grassroots organization working to protect and expand voting rights and ensure everyone is represented in our democracy. The League of Women Voters empowers voters and defends democracy through advocacy, education, and litigation. And on a local level, the League of Women Voters of Santa Barbara plays a significant role in South Coast communities by registering voters, informing voters about issues, holding candidate forums, and explaining ballot measures. Needless to say, the right to vote, the ability to vote has never been more important. So please give as generously as you can to the League of Women Voters. For those of you at home, the text to give number appears on your screen. And please join with me in saying the affirmation of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others.
Humble, to be kind. It is the giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend. To give in such a way that has no end. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when day's done. We are peace. We are that in a heart
you, musicians. A dear colleague and friend of mine spent some time in Dallas after Hurricane Katrina, and while he was there, working with one of the Unitarian Universalist congregations, he wanted to work with the food bank to help out with this huge increase in demand that they were experiencing, supplying food to the folks who were displaced in the shelters there. And after noodling around with some ideas with folks, he decided to call the food bank and ask what they needed, rather than trying to imagine for themselves. And so he asked, if we could get a bunch of people to donate something right now, what would you want? And without hesitation, the woman he was talking to replied, jelly. Jelly? He asked. Yes, jelly, she said. Everyone always donates peanut butter. But we have to spend our hard fundraised money buying jelly because no one ever thinks to give that. And what's peanut butter without jelly, she said. So the congregation did a jelly drive. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches were on a lot of lunch plates in those shelters. And when he told me this story, it got me thinking, why did no one donate jelly? And one of the main reasons I could think of was because jelly is not a virtuous food. Peanut butter has protein. It's substantial, it's solid and useful and shelf-stable, and most kids will eat it. It's an obvious choice for a food pantry staple. But jelly has no nutritional value. It's mostly sugar, and sugar, as we know, is the worst. Seen as maybe a bit of a luxury, perhaps. It improves upon toast, but it's not necessary. You can survive on a just peanut butter sandwich. Jelly adds nothing practical. One might even say it's bad for you. It is a frivolous food. And yet, the workers at the food bank knew that jelly was so important, they used their money to purchase it. After all, what's peanut butter without jelly? When people have lost everything in a storm and are living on cots in a gymnasium or maybe a church sanctuary, adding a little something sweet can make all the difference between someone feeling like a problem to be solved or feeling like a person to be loved. So often, when we think about service to the world, we think of trying to do the most good with the resources we have to help as many people as possible. And if we are not careful, this sort of Puritanism can creep in around the edges, right? Everything deemed inessential can get weeded out in the interest of maximizing utility. We don't just want to do good, we want to be good. Which means, for so many of us, as we've internalized it, being good means to be efficient and competent and practical, to be of maximum use, maximum productivity, maximum return on investment, not jelly. And yet, here we are with this window behind me. And this light from this window, when it spills across the floor or on the walls, it doesn't put food in anyone's stomach. It doesn't warm anyone on a cold night. It has no protein. It does not accomplish anything. It simply is beautiful. And should this beauty only be accessible to people who already have full bellies, who already have a warm place to sleep? Is this window a luxury, a frivolous sweet, a jelly? But just as the food bank spent money to buy a sugary spread in the midst of a crisis, so too did someone in this congregation decide that beauty was worth investing in. Because it turns out that beauty is as much of a fundamental need of our humanness as is food and warmth and companionship. Rebecca Solnit is a contemporary writer and cultural analyst who is currently doing an amazing job examining our nation's slide into authoritarianism. And she recently wrote a book called Orwell's Roses. examining the relationship between George Orwell, that anti-fascist writer that so many of you might have read with Animal Farm in 1984, his relationship between his anti-fascist writing and his love of gardening, roses in particular. She uses this as a springboard to think about the relationship between politics and power and pleasure and art and the natural world. So Orwell, it turns out, along with his novels, he also wrote essays in socialist papers and was kind of a running commentary on the politics of the day, much like Rebecca Solnit functions now. But he also wrote in those essays that went into those socialist papers about the pleasure he found in his garden, in his roses, in birdsong. Having hobbies, he said, was anti-fascist. And whenever he wrote like this, his critics, often to the left of him, would come at him for being too frivolous, too distracted, not focused on the big fight. Flowers are bourgeois, his critics would say. How can we talk about hobbies and horticulture when atrocities, real, terrible things, are happening all around us? Perhaps this resonates with you, this tension. I feel it all the time. This past Thursday, I met with members of our building team and our architect to work out some of the details of the building plan for our lower campus, making this community space more accessible, sustainable, functional, and yes, beautiful. And we looked at paint colors. We had this palette that was given us by the Santa Barbara Historical Landmarks Commission, and we discussed the trim color around the windows and the differences between different shades of white and off-white, and whether we should have wood doors or steel doors, because wood doors were more attractive, but steel doors were more durable. We decided on wood. You said you wanted it to feel warm and welcoming, our architect reminded us. I think wood conveys that. And after the meeting, I clicked off the Zoom window, and the news headlines popped up that are so often open on the background of my desktop. And it was Thursday, the day after the assassination of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, and these fears of spreading political violence were all anyone could talk about. And here we were, noodling over paint colors. And yet buildings have to be painted. And having a warm, welcoming, beautiful space feels more important now than ever. I was thinking about Megan Overland, who spoke with us just a few weeks ago. Megan Overland, who works with the Transgender Advocacy Network, that meets in that space that we are renovating. The Transgender Advocacy Network holds their social events and their board meetings there. And in this world that is so hateful and hostile right now to folks who are trans, just trying to live their lives, when surviving day to day can just feel like this battle, like you have to put on your armor just to leave your house, being welcomed into a warm and beautiful and comfortable and functional space, it matters. Making a place beautiful and safe and inclusive, not just for members of the congregation, but for all the groups that meet here doing this work of making the world better for everyone. It matters. We've got to build the world we want to live in. We can't let our fear of what may come stop us from creating what we can, a place that sustains us and our community, practically and spiritually. We don't know what will change next year, next month, or even tomorrow. But we do know that if you want roses in the future, you have to plant rose bushes. We know that in the spring of 1936, George Orwell planted roses while Hitler was marching into the Rhineland. We know that all through the war, Orwell tended his garden even as the bombs fell, and some of those rose bushes are still alive, even though Orwell is not. The things we build now will persist long after we're gone, and the world our children and grandchildren will live in is created by us now. A world of beauty is possible even now. In her book, Solnit tells the story of a judge on the International Criminal Court in The Hague in the 1990s who spent all day listening to war crimes and atrocities, stories of what had been committed in the former Yugoslavia. And a reporter asked him how he could bear it, how he could get through his days listening to the worst of what humanity can do. And he said, "As often as possible, I make my way over to the Mauritius Museum in the center of town, and I spend a little time with the Vermeers." Vermeer, a painter. So Solnit goes to this museum to see the paintings by Vermeer that the judge mentioned, and there are just 3 of them, she notes. The Vermeer paintings have nothing, of course, directly to say about war or justice or law or how you fix your society. They have no news to tell. They are propagandizing no cause, she says. Instead, she sees paintings about color and light, paintings of people doing things, ordinary things in their day. And she says, the paintings were about the peace we crave in times of war, the stillness in the uproar, about the persistence of the everyday and its beauty. Pleasure, she says, does not necessarily seduce us from the tasks at hand, but fortify us. This is not news, of course, that beauty sustains us. I am not breaking a hot revelation to you this morning that beauty sustains us, that provides us peace and grace in times of struggle. But as you know, in this place, one question leads to another, and like any good admirer of the Buddha, if I think I know something, I'm suspicious. So although it seems clear that beauty does in fact sustain us, that it does matter, that we want to cultivate beauty as part of our campaign, my next question became, yes, but how? How does beauty do this work in us? What is it about beauty that makes us feel rejuvenated and restored and uplifted? I mean, I know it does. We've all felt it, right? Those moments standing or being with something or someone beautiful. But how does it do that? If we want a particular outcome from a particular project, of course, it's important to know how things work, right? We spend time understanding how the solar panels and batteries will work so we know the best place to put them to catch the sun. I've been learning about how HVAC systems work, so we'll know how much of an energy load we need to heat or cool people to keep them safe. So we have to think about how beauty works too, if we want to build it into our plans in the same way we build in our solar capacity. And once again, Solnit points me towards this revelation, and this was the aha for me. She quotes this other author who says that so often people like the ones who had come at Orwell for talking about his roses, they're activists, right? They're moving, and beauty somehow feels passive. It just is. And activists are active, they're constantly seeking change, they're noticing that gap between the world as it is and the world as we want it to be. And when we engage with something beautiful, this author, Elaine Scarry, says, in that moment of engagement, all of a sudden we stop trying to make things happen and change, and we just are. We set down that push. And for just a moment, when we experience beauty, we become untethered to that need to change things. We stop and smell the roses, as the saying goes. We don't try to change the roses or convert them to our way of thinking or convince them to be anything other than what they are. They are beautiful, and that is enough. The light coming through this window is beautiful, and that is enough. Goon looks out and sees you, and you are beautiful, and you are enough. Beauty is an experience of enoughness. And that is something that is precious these days. It happens when our ethical commitments and our aesthetics all of a sudden converge in this moment, and the world for just this moment is just as we need it to be and nothing more. When we call something beautiful, we are saying it is good enough and complete And we don't need it to be any other way. We could stop pushing against everything that is wrong in the world for just a moment and let something be right. And that refreshes us, restores us, renews us. We don't have to work so hard 24 hours a day. We can allow ourselves these moments of enoughness. And not just because they restore us, not just because they power our batteries to go back out into the fight, but because they remind us what we are fighting for in the first place. They remind us that the fight is not what we are born to do. We are born to be enough in beauty with one another. A world that is a sanctuary we are creating, safe and sustainable and beautiful for everyone. So I have one last story to tell this morning. Last Wednesday evening, we hosted a training in Parish Hall for some volunteers who are working for immigration justice, people who are on the front lines of resisting the presence of ICE in our community, people who are trying to keep our neighbors and neighborhoods safe, who are driving around really early in the morning and taking texts late at night, people who are tired and afraid and deeply brave and determined. And so I stayed to help them get set up to turn on the microphones and hook up their laptop to the drop-down screen. And they put the chairs in a circle and they got out some snacks and they cut up a watermelon and invited me to share, asked if they could heat up some beans in the kitchen. And they were so effusive in their thanks for the space we were providing them. And they shared with me it wasn't just because they were grateful to have a place to meet, but because the week before they had met at a Boys and Girls Club in a room that had terrible acoustics and bad lighting, and it was hard to hear each other, and they made it work. It was fine. But not like this, they said, as they looked at the light coming in. Thank you for welcoming us and sharing this with us. And one of them started singing as she was arranging the chairs just because she enjoyed the acoustics of the room. And for just a moment, the world as it was and the world as it could be, it snapped together into one thing, one place, one human family, one beautiful world. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. We are together one more time. Come sing a song with me. And let's really sing together. Sing this. This is a great song for singing to each other.
And I give you all
are, stay right where you are. And if you want to put your hands over your heart or hold hands with someone near you, if you have permission to do so, or hold them up and open, however it is that you get connected. And as you go out into this beautiful and heartbreaking world, may the light of love shine upon you. Out from within you, be gracious unto you and bring you peace. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And let us call out a blessing. You would like this book, Orwell's Roses.
Okay, thank you.